Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again in Unit 7, Lesson 1. 7. Unit 7, Dates to remember, past simple, questions and negatives in past simple, time expressions, adverbs, special occasions. Okay, by the way, we are talking about time and expressions. Let's go to the previous unit. We were talking about the time expressions, okay? Now, starter 1. Work in groups. Do the history quiz. Discuss your answers with the class. 20th century quiz. How much do you know about events in the last century? 1. When did Henry Ford sell the first Model T motor car? In 1903, in 1908, in 1910. 2. When was the first talking movie The Jazz Singer? A. 1903, B. 1950, or 1927. 3. When did Einstein publish his theory of relativity? About 1 year ago, about 60 years ago, about 50 years ago. 6. How many people died in the Second World War? About 20 million, about 60 million, about 80 million. 5. When was the first non-stop fight around the world? About 90 years ago, about 60 years ago, about 30 years ago. 4. When was the Russian Revolution? In 1909, 1914, 1917. 7. When did the Berlin Wall come down? In 1945, 1975, or 1989. 8. On what date in 1969 did man first land on the moon? On 20th July, on 3rd May, on 13th August. 10. When did the 20th century end? At midnight of 31/12/1999, at midnight of 31/12/2000. 9. How many number one hit did the Beatles have in the UK? 12, 17, 29. Okay, so let's listen to tape script 7.1. Listen and check your answers. Which group won the quiz? Let's listen to this tape script.
Unit 7. Tape script 7.1. 20th century quiz. 1.
Henry Ford sold the first Model T in 1908.
2.
The first talking movie, The Jazz Singer, was in 1927.
3.
Einstein published his theory of relativity about 100 years ago.
4.
The Russian Revolution was in 1917.
5.
The first non-stop flight around the world was about 60 years ago.
6.
About 60 million people died in the Second World War.
7.
The Berlin Wall came down in 1989.
8.
Man first landed on the moon on July the 20th, 1969.
9.
The Beatles had 17 number one hits in the UK.
10.
The 20th century ended at midnight on the 31st of December 2000.
Tape script.
Now the good old days. Past simple questions and negatives. Tape script 7.2. Listen to Tommy talking to his granddad Bill about when Bill was young. Take a break the things that they talking about, okay? Programs on TV, sport, pocket money, housework, comics, holidays. Okay, so let's listen to this tape script and take correct to the things that they are talking about.
Tape script 7.2. The good old days.
Grandad, when you were a boy, did you have television?
Of course we had television. But it wasn't a colour TV like now. It was black and white.
And were there lots and lots of channels? How many TV channels were there?
Only 2, but that was enough. We loved it. And there weren't programmes all day long. Nothing in the morning and nothing in the afternoon.
Oh, no! What time did programmes begin?
At 4:30, when children's TV started, there were some great programmes for us children, I can tell you. We had real stories in those days.
Did your mum and dad give you pocket money?
Yes, but I worked for it. I cleaned the kitchen and did the washing up. We didn't have dishwashers in those days.
Oh, that's terrible! How much pocket money did you get?
My dad gave me 6pence a week. That's 2.5p these days. He didn't give me much, did he? But we bought comics and sweets.
What sort of comics did you buy?
Well, I bought a comic called The Eagle, and it was full of adventure stories. And Superman. That was really exciting.
Wow! Did you have holidays?
Yes, but not like nowadays. People didn't go abroad. I never took a plane like people do now. It was too expensive.
Where did you go on holiday?
To the seaside, in England.
How did you get there?
My father drove. We had a Ford car. A Ford Prefect it was. We went to the same place every year.
Why did you go to the same place? Why didn't you go somewhere different?
Because we all liked it there.
Oh, I'm pleased I wasn't alive then. It sounds really boring.
Oh, no. That's where you're wrong. It was the best fun ever.
Okay. So let's go to the iTutor. Okay. Reading. So let's read about 1909, the first air journey. Let's listen. Okay.
The first air journey.
On July the 25th, 1909, a Frenchman, Louis Blériot, became the first man to complete an air journey when he flew from Calais in the north of France to Dover in the south of England. Blériot's flight amazed the whole of Europe. People thought that such a journey was impossible.
The flight.
The flight wasn't easy. Mr. Blériot, a 37-year-old engineer, couldn't swim, so he didn't want to come down in the channel. He couldn't walk very well because of an injury to his leg, and he didn't have a compass. On the morning of the 25th, he took off at 4:30 from a field at the edge of a cliff. It took 37 minutes to complete the 22-mile journey. The plane flew at 40 miles per hour at an altitude of 250 feet. Everything went well until he flew into fog. I continued flying for 10 minutes But I couldn't see the land, only the sky and the sea. It was the most dangerous part of the flight. I wasn't worried about the machine. It flew beautifully. Finally, I saw the land, he told reporters.
Landing in England.
When he got to Dover, he saw a French journalist waving a flag. He cut the engine at 60 feet and crashed into a field. The news quickly went round the world, and Mr. Blériot's flight was celebrated in London and Paris. He won a prize of £1,000. The crossing was the start of modern aviation, said Louis Blériot, the grandson of the pioneer.
Okay, we complete next lesson. Thank you very much. Let's discuss this paragraph. Please read it well. Then we discuss it on WhatsApp. See you then. Bye.